All right. What is going on, everyone? Good morning. We are live. Thank you for joining. Thank you for taking some time to watch this important message. I wanted to jump on here and just talk a little bit about some of the things that I've been learning regarding auto dealership associations. And I want to talk specifically about the Colorado Auto Dealer Association. So they came on my radar over the last month or so as Colorado EV owners were fighting to get a bill passed to protect EV parking spots. Uh, Excuse me, let me correct that. EV charging spots. We've had this growing problem, as many EV owners have been having all around the world, of people blocking EV charging spots and therefore blocking the ability to charge an electric vehicle. And the CEO of the Colorado Auto Dealers Association, or they're also known as CATA, I'll refer to them as CATA from this point forward. One of the news stations that interviewed me about the pending bill at the time also interviewed the CEO. His name is Tim Jackson. And he said something that was really quite surprising to me. And this was, hey, Michael, this was at the point where the law hadn't passed yet. I believe it had been through the House. It had gotten a vote from the House, but not the Senate. And he said that he thought that it was a non-issue, in that he could count on one hand the times that his chargers were blocked. Now, can I share my screen? I don't think I can share my screen on this live stream. So let me just paint the picture for you here. So I'd never had any communication or dealings with Tim Jackson. I really had no clue who he was until I watched this interview. So I go to look up that charging station at the CATA headquarters in downtown Denver. If you know the area or are from Denver, it's off of Spear Boulevard. I go to look it up, and I find these photos that EV owners have posted. One of them is a sticky note, an orange sticky note that says, "No Tesla charging, call Elon." And then you've got another photo from this specific CATA headquarter charging station that explicitly has a no Tesla charging sign. No Tesla charging sign. Yeah, that's what it says. I'm pulling it up here. And probably worst of all, they've bought the hardware for these charging stalls from ChargePoint. I reach out to ChargePoint to let them know what's going on here. I mean, this is explicit and targeted EV owner discrimination, right? They're allowing other electric vehicles to charge, but not Teslas. So one of the Denver Tesla Club board members reaches out and says, "Hey, we're getting these messages from owners saying that when they park in this charging spot, they're either getting sticky notes or someone is coming out from the office of this CATA headquarters and unplugging the Tesla." So we inquire about that, and this was Tim Jackson's response. "Are Tesla owners blind? Question mark. We don't charge Tesla cars. All EV stations are clearly marked. Once Tesla starts allowing all EVs to charge at their stations, we will too." So there's all sorts of things that are wrong with this statement. Number one, it's extremely juvenile, right? To exclude a particular vehicle from charging when they've got the ability to charge. Number two, if other vehicles had the ability to take that high-powered DC charging, there'd be no issue, right? And then the other thing, this is an issue with the manufacturer, not with the owner. Why is CATA specifically targeting Tesla owners and preventing them from charging when it's the actual manufacturers who are either supporting or not supporting Tesla superchargers? So that is the context for what I'm about to share here. So we successfully got the EV charging bill passed. It was a little over a week ago, and all the while, the previous governor who was in office, Governor Hickenlooper, who's also actually running for president in this upcoming election, signed a mandate to require automakers to produce more low emissions vehicles. And there were a bunch of hearings that took place last year, which I attended. Beginning of this year, 2019, new governor comes into office, Jared Polis, and the first mandate, the first bill or mandate, I should say, that he signs is a mandate to require automakers to produce more zero emissions vehicles. So essentially, he sort of builds on top of the previous governor's mandate. And this sets CATA into a frenzy. They file a lawsuit against the state to stop it. Why are they doing that, you ask? So I've put some links in the description so you can follow along here. One of them is from CATA's website directly. The title is "Colorado is well on its way to becoming Californicated." So they're using this Californicated as a derogatory term, implying that it's an actual bad thing that Colorado requires more zero emissions vehicles on the road. And you can read through this on your own, but essentially Colorado wants to see less pollution in the air along the Front Range of Colorado and just Colorado in general. And so let me see if they. So this mandate will require at least 15% of total vehicle sales to be zero emissions within 7 years. So it's not like this is happening immediately. There is definitely some time for automakers to not only take their existing vehicles that they're already producing in other zero emission mandate or CARB states, like California is one of them, where they sell a lot of zero emissions vehicles. So it's not like manufacturers are having to just come up with zero emissions vehicles out of thin air. They're already producing these, and many of these vehicles. What's a good example? The Hyundai Kona EV. I think that's only sold in these states who've adopted California's zero emissions standards. So it's not like they're coming up with these automobiles out of the blue. Take, in addition to that, everything that Tesla is doing, as well as everything that these new zero emissions electric vehicle companies are producing, i.e. Rivian and every other. Bollinger's another one. All of these new companies that are coming on the scene will be able to contribute to the zero emission sales here in Colorado. So it sort of leads to this question of, why is CATA making such a big fuss about this zero emissions standard? Everything starts to come into perspective when you understand where auto dealerships' revenue mostly comes from. And this is directly from the National Association, the National, let's see, I'm going to get this right here, NADA, so National Association of Dealerships, okay, I'm going to get this right here, 4 times the charm, National Automotive Dealer Association. There we go. At least it's close enough. They ran a study and determined that 49% of dealership revenue is coming from service, which means that you have razor-thin margins on the actual sale of the vehicle at the dealership level. Where dealerships are making their primary gross revenue is from service, maintaining the car. Why is this important to understand? Well, if you know or own an electric vehicles do not require nearly as much maintenance and repairs. You don't have any fuel costs. You don't have any oil changes. You do have some fluids in electric vehicles, and in particular, Tesla has a battery coolant fluid that sometimes you need to top off. You do have a transmission fluid in the electric motors. You do have some brake fluid, but even Tesla has started moving away from requiring owners to come in on a regular basis, and they've now they're now proactively reaching out to the owner on the touchscreen to let them know when something needs to be maintained. So it's sort of an as-is basis. So if electric vehicles require far less maintenance, require far less fuel and operational cost, this means that this will have a significant impact on revenues of dealerships. So CATA is making a big fuss about this zero emissions mandate to put more zero emissions vehicles on the road, because I surmise it's going to have a significant impact on the dealerships that they represent. All this is at the cost of people who live here in Colorado, and anyone else who really is experiencing this sort of pushback from dealer associations. The American Lung Association recently published a study of the most polluted cities in the U.S. Number one is Los Angeles. In fact, the first six cities on this list of worst pollution in the U.S. are in California. So you kind of understand why California is pushing so hard here. The pollution is terrible. So number one is Los Angeles. Number two is Visalia. Is that how you pronounce it? Number three, Bakersfield. 4, Fresno. 5, Sacramento. 6, San Diego. 7, Phoenix. 8, San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland. 9, Houston. 10, New York. 11, Redding. Number 12, Denver, Colorado. So CATA is pushing back on requiring more zero emissions vehicles on the road at the expense of people who actually live here, who have to breathe in the air of this fast-growing city where the pollution is getting worse. I have seen this firsthand as a real estate agent, helping people buy and sell houses. A lot of people are moving to Colorado and Denver in particular because of all of the wonderful things that it has to offer. It's a great quality of life. You have access to so many amenities in Denver, the ski resorts, the mountains, the views of the mountains. But these views will not last if the state of Colorado does not do something about this growing health risk, the pollution in the air. So this is a fundamental challenge. Today is a hearing that the Air Quality Control Commission of Colorado is hosting, which many people expect CATA to be in full force, as well as their dealerships, as well as their crony partners in the oil and gas industry to speak against. So my purpose of doing this video is to inform and educate. And if you follow me on Twitter, in fact, I'll put a link to my Twitter handle in the description after this stream ends. But if you want to, I tweeted out calling out the CEO of CATA for the juvenile targeting of Tesla owners, as well as their lawsuit against the state of Colorado to stop the effort to clean up the air in Colorado. Please share that out and help get the word out that the shady business of auto dealer associations is just not cool. As if this wasn't enough, this is just sort of icing on the top. During this last legislative session, I mentioned that the EV community successfully helped get a bill passed to protect electric vehicle charging and refueling stations in Colorado. It's now a ticketable offense, $150 fine if you're blocking a charging spot. CATA also spent a great deal of money against a bill to allow manufacturers to sell direct to consumer. Now, Tesla was able to get in on this before CATA lobbied to change the law for manufacturers to sell direct to consumer. But Rivian was trying to lobby lawmakers to allow them to sell direct to consumer, to have a physical presence in Colorado, to be able to get Colorado residents in their vehicles and give them an opportunity to experience the Rivian R1T and R1S. CATA fought tooth and nail and successfully won to stop that bill from being passed. Unfortunately, this sort of happened last minute. This bill happened last minute. So I was not aware of this. If I was, I probably would have gotten a little bit more vocal about it. But you get a sense for the shady dealings that CATA in particular are doing. But this does not stop with Colorado's Automotive Dealer Association. The same things are happening in Michigan, in Texas, and many other states. So do what you can. If you support clean air in your city, if you support zero emissions at the tailpipe, but not only that, zero emissions, bar none, period. Electric vehicles are definitely a very convincing route to go. And would appreciate if you share this video out, share this message out. It would mean a lot and would help educate people on what's going on here in Colorado, which also has the potential to impact other states too. So I'm gonna go through and just quickly read through some questions here. Josh asks, can you unplug a Tesla without the app to unlock it? If you're using the adapter, like the J1772 adapter on a non-Tesla charger, you can pull the charging plug out of the adapter. It doesn't lock that. If you're using a Tesla supercharger or any sort of Tesla charger, it does require the car to be unlocked in order to pull that out. So there are some exclusions there. Yeah, I see some other people are addressing that question. Yeah, thanks, Kelly, for calling your rep and committee members. All right. Who pays for the electricity at the CATA stations? CATA does. CATA, and this is another thing I don't think I mentioned. This is just really, really nuts. So not only are they explicitly discriminating against Tesla owners charging on their property, they're charging 50 cents per kilowatt hour for a level 2 charger. So in other words, 50 cents per kilowatt hour for slow ass charging. And so let me do some math here. So I've got a 75 kilowatt hour battery pack. If I was going to do a full charge there, that would cost me $37.50. That's 5 times the cost of what it costs me to charge at my house at 12 cents per kilowatt hour. Any planned Tesla chargers in Iceland? I don't know. That's definitely a question for Tesla. I would assume so. I would assume that you've got a well-represented fleet of Tesla owners there. Yeah, thanks for sharing that out, Kelly. Matt, thanks for the good feedback on the Tesla Panasonic Maxwell video. Appreciate that. Anyways, I don't want to make this too stretched out here, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. If you want to continue the conversation, you can meet me on Twitter, Sean M. Mitchell, SEAN. In fact, I'll just type it here. Sean. So I'll just Twitter, Sean M. She'll see you in SSS. Ernie, see you this weekend. I won't be staying overnight, but I will show up there for a few hours. Sean M. Mitchell. Okay, so I'm going to put that in the chat there. Thanks for tuning in. Share this out if you think it's an important message for other people to know about, and I will see everyone on the next video.